I don't expect people to watch my video beginning to end, every video. To use them as reference books in the campground tours. Well, take two. I just recorded this whole video, lost all my audio, have to start completely over. Welcome to Mirror Lake State Park, just outside the Wisconsin Dells. There's the lake, right there. I am down at the beach right now. This video is going to be Bluewater Bay Campground. I did a video here several years ago where I did a driving tour of all 3 campgrounds and took a look at a trail or 2, and I had a viewer ask, hey, do you have a walking tour of these campgrounds? Like, no, I do not, and I probably should. I have not given this state park the attention it deserves, and I'm going to try to fix that in my first somewhat warm enough weekend or weekdays. It's not weekend for me, not for anybody else, where it's finally warm enough for me to get out after the polar vortex has like socked the country in and kept everybody indoors for weeks. So I finally can get outside, explore the state park, and give it the justice it deserves. So this video is going to be this campground, specifically the Bluewater Bay Campground. I will have a separate video on Sandstone Ridge Campground and a separate video on the Cliffwood Campground. I will also be doing another video of winter camping at the Sandstone Ridge Campground. Currently there are like 9 sites available. There are a few more that are off-season sites, so outside the normal May 15th to October 15th, or is it outside of that normal range, where there is some camping available in a few more sites that they just don't want to deal with in the snow. So thanks for coming along on this journey. We're going to go explore this campground. By the way, my name is Peter, and this is Scotty Wandering, and our first stop now is the beach. I'm going to go jump in the water now. Very nice beach area. I'll show you around here in a second. This campground that we're touring is in 4 loops, plus a group campground up top and an amphitheater. I don't run that often. I walk a lot, but I don't run. So, 4 loops to this campground. I don't expect people to watch my videos beginning to end, every video. That's not the intent of these videos. To use them as reference books in the campground tours, where you can go sit there with the maps online, look at available sites, see if those sites match your needs for your camping style. I will chapter these out per loop and other things like the beach and the group campground. So let's get up there after we take a quick look around the day use area and this beach area. All right, great big open green space above the sandy beach. This is no watercraft down here at the beach. There is a separate boat launch fishing pier for that, and there are rentals available in the summer for that. We got a playground, volleyball pit over here, plenty of crows yelling at me, large parking lot, his and hers pit toilets up here, and another day use green space up top with a shelter way up there. And since this has been mostly a dry winter, very little snow, we don't have the winter map, we have the summer map, because they don't distinguish the snowshoe trails and the cross-country ski trails. They're all just hiking trails right now. Now I'm here at the end of January 2025. Now that it's finally warmed up after a month of pretty much close to 0 every day. It finally hit above freezing yesterday, so yay, I can get out and go camping finally and not suffer too badly. So the trail heading down from this campground, down off the road and certainly off the bottom loop, is a nice, easy walk trail and very wagon friendly. So if you need to bring your wagon of stuff down to the beach, feel free. We have made it to the 4th loop, so I'm going to have to be doing these numbers backwards. So starting from the beach end here, Our first site is 45. As we go up, the numbers will go down as we go up the hill. So 45 here. Now a bunch of these sites have these tent pads sort of defined in the back with the railroad ties or 4x4s. This one doesn't really have a front designation, but that's sort of what that intent is a tent pad, picnic table, fire ring, and then drive. None of these sites in this campground, of the 3 campgrounds, have electric. You have to go to the other campgrounds for electric. So this is more of the tenting, young family group campground. And this one overlooks the parking lot to the beach. In the summer, you probably won't see any of that tent pad. Nice big space over here. Picnic table, fire ring at 46. $47 over here. See our picnic table and fire ring. And then it comes down over here. There's a bit of a slope down in that site at 47. Water source next door. 48 over here. That's a nice flat site once you get past this initial entrance. There's an old stump there on the way in. Now each one of these loops has one of these green sites in the 500s, and I don't quite know what that means. I don't know if they're available. I don't know if they put in extra camp host or anything like that. I have no idea. Really long site if it's available, and the picnic table, fire ring around the corner. 49 over here. This one slopes down and then flattens out once you get down in there. All right, 50 over here. This one is off in the backwoods. We got again a tent pad in the back and a very flat site otherwise. All right, 51. Get out in the back side of the loop here. We are off season, so any tree trimming and things like that, they haven't done the cleanup yet, but they did get them down. So this one has a fresh cut across the tent pad back there. That'll all be cleaned up by summer. 52 over here on the inside of the loop. Slight slope up, and then it's nice and flat going back. Tent pad all the way in the back. 53 on the outside. Now we're starting to get close to backing up to the next loop, but we're still pretty clear here. This one has a slight slope down, and then nice and flat, and a little gap. All right, site 54. Signs on the ground, broken. Nice flat site, nice looking small simple site over there. Across on that little parking area to get to the pit toilets that's shared between us and the next loop. There is a full bathhouse way up at the top of the hill by the first 2 loops, but it's a big hike from here. 55 looks a little rough right now, but that's all just deadfall from the winter. There should be a nice big flat site come summer. 56 over here. This one loops around. The tent pad is behind the picnic table and the fire ring as they're sitting right now. 57, which is our last one in this loop. Fairly large site, tent pad in the back. That's a nice looking site. All right, we're gonna hike up the hill, get to the 3rd loop next. My fingers are too cold to do this right. Now I really like to do these tours on the shoulder seasons or the off season if I can. Unfortunately, you don't see the full tree cover, but you do see the full sites. I don't have to avoid any sites because there's families and kids in them, or you can't see them because of all the stuff in them. This lets you have a clear vision, open to interpret the site how you want. Hopefully you get a better view than you do on just a little snapshot from every photo on the website. Now, on the way up here, I've got the amphitheater that I scared away the fox before. I'm going to show you that. It's a very nice amphitheater. All right, here's our amphitheater. Nice little stage over there. Movable wall in the background. And very well designed seating. Low maintenance. Hopefully it will last for years. There goes the fox. Running off in the back there. There's also a fire pit on the side so they can have proper fireside chats over here. I see him. Now this camera does not zoom in very well. There you are. There he is. We have a fox. See, I'm not lying. Okay, like I said, nice fire pit. He's still staring at me. Gonna run away now? Okay. All right, beautiful amphitheater. Comes with occasional fox. All right, let's go look at some more campground tours. All right, next loop, sites 31 through 44 over there. All righty, the next loop here. A little gap here. 31 is the first one. Over on the inside. You get a good sense of that looking through the brush right now. But in the summer, if I was driving through, you would see nothing. Big tree in the way though. So good luck dancing around that tree. I hope you can hear me over the wind. I tried to use a microphone with a windscreen, but that completely failed me today. So here's 32. Another parking area for that pit toilet that shares the first loop we looked at. And across from that, just like the one on the far side, the sign is down. I think we're at 33 here. Yes, this is 33. This is a really nice site. I like how it tucks around behind. If you have a van like I do, you can easily tuck it around forward or back, however you want to use it over here. It'd be very nice. Looks like this tree is marked to go at some point. All right, site 34 over here on the outside next to the pit toilet, but far enough away that you're not on top of it. It's a nice grassy site in the back. Now, this is one of those green labeled sites, 503. Don't know what it means, but there it is. And this one's mossy and kind of bumpy. And we'll continue down. The next one will be 35. All right, 35 down here on the back side of the loop. It's pretty long. 36 on the other side of the ice sheet here. All right, this is 36. I don't know why the fire ring is inside the tent pad. That seems a little strange to me. Beautiful tree in the back though. That is a lovely tree. Little gap to 37. All right, 37, backlit right now. Fairly long. That's a pretty good long site. And these sites are definitely not on top of each other. This one just got a whole lot more sunshine for 2025. And 38 took out a tree or two or three. There's a whole bunch that have been taken out over here. So this one will get some sun. Tent pad is on the other side of the fire ring over there. 39 over here. You can see that. Another nice long one going back. Again, none of these have electric. We have occasional water sources throughout. 40 over here. This one hooks back around. You can go straight over here or you can go way back over there. 41 on the outside. Nice, fairly flat site. It's all kind of slight slope downhill. I would, in my vehicle, I would back in. No, I'd pull in so my head on sleeping is up. Okay, 3 more sites. 42 here. It's fairly flat in the back, a little downward slope going in. There's plenty of flat space in the back. 43 over here. It's a little rough in the winter deadfall, but it goes quite a ways back to that tent pad over there. Lots of pine cones in there to get your fire started. 44 over here. It's a nice big site. Low overhang through this section under those pine trees though. And that's the completion of the second loop. Head up the hill to get to the last 2 loops. All right, sites 16 through 30 are our next loop. Straight ahead in this loop is that green 502. This is a long pull through site. Again, don't quite know what those mean. Site 16 on the outside here. Get a sense of that, how it lays out. This is the exit to that green site. Site 17. This one slopes down a little and then flattens out when you get down in there. Some of these now have lantern hooks in them, the other ones didn't. Site 18 goes straight back, and you got a picnic table and fire ring on the side. I don't see the tent pads in all of these up here. Water source, 19 on the outside. This is a very wide site with a tree to play with in the middle. 20 hooks way around on the inside. It's pretty long once you get straight shot. Now this loop, you are seeing your neighbors on the inside. So it's not as isolated as the other loops feel from site to site. 21, better isolated site down back in there. This one actually slopes down and then hooks around the corner. All right, 22. Heads back a bit. Now, this set of sites, and I think its neighbor, have little crowdsourced trails wandering off the back. There's just sort of slope off the back, no cliffside or anything like that, so it's still family friendly. Go explore in the woods. Good site for that. 23, fairly long site. It does have a bit of an uphill slope, so your cars will be sitting on a slope, but there's flat space up top. Again, access to those crowdsourced trails in the woods over there. 24, over here, nice big deep wide site. Hard to tell with all the leaves, but you can just see where the trees are and the fire pit and firing, picnic table and firing. Looks like there's parking over here, but I wouldn't. 25 over here. This is a very large site. You go straight back and there's a ton of room off to the side. This easily fit you and your friend, but remember you're backing up to the neighbors over there. 26, this one has a slight uphill slope going up to the picnic table and fire ring, and not any really good spot except maybe over there for a flat tent spot where part of the picnic table is. Now we got another pit toilet here. This one shares with the first loop we haven't been to yet. It's a little closer in than the other one was, with parking for that in case you need to drive from the other side of the loop over to here to use a bathroom, whatever. 27. Over here, fairly long site. This one definitely has a tent pad in the back, clearly defined. 28 also has a clear tent pad. This one is very much backing up to its neighbor in the next loop. There's almost no distinction except a few brush, a little bit of brush between you. So you're kind of sharing the space with your neighbor there. All right, 29 on the inside. This is a very long site and completely different side section for that picnic table and fire ring. Almost doesn't feel like it's part of the site. 30 over here, backing up to the bathhouse. I'm sure there's a trail heading off behind there for that. Very wide site. And that is our last site in this loop. Let's go take a look at the bathhouse before we hit our last loop. Now I said last loop, but hold on. We still have group site and something else up there I'm not quite sure. I haven't been to yet. It's in a completely different numbering system. We'll find out what that is at the end. Okay, we have a shelter over here, big green space, his and hers, you know, men's room, women's room, just toilets and sinks, family restroom, and on the end, I think there was 6 showers rooms over there. So, more modern setup, you get your own shower, none of that worrying about someone grabbing stuff from you. Group camps over there, we'll get to that after we do our last loop over here. All right, coming into this loop, we have the green sign 501. This is a pull-through site. On the inside, right now there's 4 picnic tables for some reason. Don't know why, but we're missing picnic tables in the other sites. So site 1 over here, no picnic table. Fire rings around the corner, makes it harder for me to show where those are. Nice flat, big site. Yeah, the pull-throughs are quite long. Site 2, backing up to the neighbor on the other side that I mentioned, next to the pit toilet. So, not the most private site. Really convenient, but not private. And very flat. All right, site 3. Nice, simple, flat site. Nothing bad about this one that I see. Site 4 over here. No snow in this one. This one does have a little uphill slope going into it. Site 5. It's fairly long. Fire ring seems to be on the wrong side in my view, unless you don't have something too long going in there. Site 6 on the outside. This is a very large site. Again, picnic table hiding over in that first site. Continue around, we'll get to site 7. That's a nice site. This one has plenty of woods to go exploring off the back. And then we'll go down the hill to 8. All right, site 8. Fairly wide site and got a good length to it too. You can almost fit 2 vehicles in there, but you know, we're in the non-electric zone, so who's going to do that? Continue on to site 9 on the outside. Nice flats once you get back in there. A little slope in the front drive, but nothing too much. Nothing to worry about there. We got site 10. Everything that is snow is the site almost. So if it's covered in snow, that also means that there was no trees overhead. So you got a clear sky overhead in these snow-covered sites. If there's no snow, then they're tree covered. All right, site 11. This one is all leaves, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. Just look for where the trees are, and there's a little ridge berm back there that defines the site. Across from there we got site 12. Very large, very wide site. Lots of trees overhead. 13, got some clearing overhead. Decent sized site. There's plenty of room over here too. So lots of room to play around with that site. 2 more sites in this loop. $14 over here. This is a very, very big site. Goes way back until you hit the trees, so you can't like play that there's more room there. And site 15 over here, if the wind isn't getting too much. There's plenty of room extra over here beyond where the snowpack is. Very large site. It goes way over here in the entrance. All right, we're gonna head up this way. Group camp, and I think a few more sites, and this is where the camp host would be hiding, so we're going to check that out. And the camp host would be right here at the beginning, because that's what this is. This would be a firewood shed, so this is where you would buy your firewood and haul it down. Currently $7 per bundle, 3 for $20, cashless. Don't bring cash, you're going to have to pay with your phone most likely for that. This is the camp host site. Now, oh, these look like walk-in sites. Got 401 over here. So you're parking over here. These are tents only. 402 right there. Let's see what else we find. I got 301 through 307. I don't know if that's the group site numbers or something else. I think those are group site numbers, but you have to park up in this area to go to those group sites. All right, for the group sites, there are carts available, no cars up there, so none of these, you know, some of the groups will bring trailers and everything to set up. So no, this is a more primitive group site kind of place, and you're gonna have to haul it in. All right, sites 301 and 302 are directly across from each other, so they're not isolated group sites. 301 backs up to the green space and easy access to the shower house. However, 302 is going to be coming through to get there, but there is a pit toilet over that way as well. Now down at the end of the stretch is 303. That has this whole end loop, which is kind of nice, with a center fire pit in the middle of it. Easy access to the shower building, and the amphitheater is right over that way. And there's one more or two off over there I'll have to explore next. Now that last group campsite over there also has access to this parking lot for probably a closer walk-in. That is also here for the amphitheater. All right, after coming through the woods, amphitheater's over there. This is 306, another centralized around end ring here. Plenty of room for tents over there and around it, and it has a water source. I'm gonna head back up and hit the next couple along the way here. All right, 305 here. This one's just on this side of the road, fairly isolated, but it is, I don't know if you can see it right now, the road down to the beach is over there. So it backs up to busy road, but also easy access to go rolling down the hill to the beach. Tent pads there, and pit toilets. Another group site up there. 304 over here on this side of the pit toilet. And I believe there's one more isolated one back in the woods there. And then down another side spur, on its own loop is 307. Another group campsite. Spots all around for tents. A little further away from the pit toilet than the others. Nicely isolated, but main road goes by there, beach road over there. And all of these sites, at least this time of year, I can hear the interstate 90, 94, 39, no, 90, 94, 39 is not part of it at this point, going by. So that's the Bluewater Bay Campground. Like I said, that is the first of 3 campgrounds I'm going to be doing full walking tours of here in the off season. So thanks for coming on this. If you're looking for RV friendly sites, those will be my next 2 videos. Those loops have power. Those are going to be filled with RVs. This is probably all going to be filled with tents. Yes, you can use them too, RV folks. You just won't have any power. You have to bring your own power, and don't expect a lot of sun to fill up your solar. So I'll see you in the next video. Get on out there. And watch out for Fox. He's out there.